Hi, I'm Kimball Bullington, and this is Lean Project Management Project Selection. So, how do we decide on which project we're going to be working on? So, I started with a sort of a semi-brainstorm nominal group technique. The idea of nominal group technique is really a individual brainstorms in a group. So each person takes some time to think of ideas, write them down on sticky notes, and then at some point you put them all up on a board together. During at that point you can continue to um, add to the list if an idea from someone else um, causes you to think of a new idea. One of the benefits, there's several benefits over traditional brainstorming. Traditional brainstorming, dominant personalities tend to just dominate. The introverts, who quite often are some of the most creative people in your group, tend to just not participate. But this way you get their views as well. It's also a concept of production blocking. So while one person is talking or saying an idea, everybody else is just focused on that person's idea, which blocks the production of any ideas they might have, or at least it can to some extent. This is well documented and has been written about since the 1950s. People have said, well, brainstorming is not very good. People continue to use it. So here I've simulated at least, and it's somewhat authentic, a nominal group technique, idea generation, or sticky storm as I like to call it, um, with several people in the supply chain group. And if you look at these yellow notes, those are pretty much Kimball's idea, Dr. B's ideas. Dr. Cliff's ideas are in the purple, and then there's some other people who contributed some ideas. And this is a pretty faithful representation. So we've got this big board full of ideas. What are we going to do with it? Next step is to create an affinity diagram. In an affinity diagram, you start to group these ideas, the sticky notes, into groups that make sense. So I have a group I called woodworking because some of those ideas for projects were woodworking projects. I have fitness ideas, um, and I have consulting ideas and writing ideas, both personal and work related. And then I have some project ideas that are associated with the supply chain management program and the fact that we're uh, we're at a point in a state of flux right now and state of high innovation. So I looked at this, and I'll tell you, I was most tempted to do the Bike USA project. It's a project I've wanted to do for a long time. It's a project I intend to do, or at least attempt. And let's bike across the United States from Astoria, Oregon to Norfolk, Virginia. Or at least that's one possible route. I'm not going to do that project this summer. I don't think I can complete the planning of that project in the summer, but I could in the fall, and I think it'll be a lot of fun because I teach this class again in the fall. So in the fall, it's Bike USA. Um, but I decided that I would I would write this book. I could write a book. That's ambitious to say you could write a book in 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks. Um, but I have this book idea. It's taken from the book of Daniel in the Bible, and it has to do with how to be successful in college. I'm calling it King Nebu, King Nebuchadnezzar University. And I was so excited about that. But when you have ideas for projects, it's good to bounce them off other people. And so I did that. I tried my oldest son, Matthew. I told him I was so excited to present it, and he gave me this look like, Dad, and he said you've started on the Lean Six Sigma certification and taken that online, Greenbelt, and for the consulting. He said you really ought to do that. You ought to take this opportunity and do that. So one of the changes I made to this course early on, you may have noticed, is that I added another discussion. And the other discussion was where you would discuss your ideas with other students before you proposed them to me, before you submitted and made your decision on the project, that you discuss them with someone else, because sometimes your idea will change. I still like the book idea and I intend to do it, but it doesn't have the urgency, I don't believe, that this work on bringing this online does. So run your ideas by other people, brainstorm if nothing else, or by yourself. Do an affinity diagram for the ideas. You might say, oh, I don't have any ideas. Come on, get creative. There are ideas out there for projects, plenty of them. And even if you already know what project you want to do, I'd like for you to go through this process of brainstorming potential projects, separating them into groups, and then picking the your favorite that you think you can do in this time period, and then reviewing it with someone else, and then present it to me. Hope this helps you in choosing or selecting a project.